I don't feel alone. We just settled in and it already feels like home.
You're listening to the Feels Like Home podcast with Mike Throne and Marty Ford.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in again tonight. This is a different kind of podcast. We are talking tonight with Emily Gerber-Poe, and this is a different way of doing things. We really just kind of we're like diving into the deep end tonight. So it's going to be a little different experience than what we normally give you, but I think you'll really enjoy the conversation that we have with Emily. Emily is a local businesswoman who has taken a legacy business and take it to another level. And we're super excited to have her on and to talk about that and her upbringing in Chillicothe and how her going away for school and then coming back has really just lent to the way that she's approached her business. So we're really excited. So we hope we enjoy this. And to us, it was like one of the best ones we've done yet, but we say that every week. So I guess you probably are sick of hearing that by now, but we're not. So here we go.
We first met you at Salem, and you were, I had just started learning to play the guitar, and we were doing that Saturday night service.
Oh my
Do you remember
gosh,
that?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
And
this is like in the way back archive.
This is
Greg
way back
Woods,
when.
Greg Woods was
Oh
leading.
my
Oh my gosh.
This
and,
is forever ago.
and then I don't. Would you have been in? Would you have been away at school maybe?
Maybe.
And
What?
came home. I just remember you coming home and
I
singing one.
have things like that. Like 2001,
I graduated high school in 2001.
but before you graduated, you got to take on the establishment.
Yes, I did.
FCA.
Oh my God.
SCA.
Yes, I did.
That's how I remember knowing you.
Oh my gosh.
So like it was
Yeah,
kind of nuts.
you're right. That
'Cause
was
I
that my
remember-
senior year. That was my senior.
That was
year.
your senior. I think it was your senior.
It
year.
was.
And I wish I would have taken a picture of it now. But there's a picture of you speaking at the school board meeting and young Travis Poe sitting in front of you.
Oh my gosh.
Like super
That is-
young and looking like he's almost interested. So, you know,
Yeah. That seems like a lifetime ago.
100%.
When you just brought that up, I'm like, I kind of had forgotten that.
Think
was
about
even
this.
part of my past.
If you think about it, it's 20 years. No.
It is 20 years.
It really is 20 years.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but you came. I think you came home from school, and sang like maybe special music or something. And I
Yeah.
never heard you sing before, and I was like, "Dang, this
Yeah,
girl
it's
can
impressive.
sing, man!" And then I was like, "Yeah, I have no business being in front of the microphone."
Stop. No, I think that would have been probably when I came home from college, Christmases or summers or something like
Because
that.
I think I heard you sing when you were in high school, and I was like, in fact, I know it was because I think it was either a Christmas thing for Rotary or
Okay.
around graduation or a school function or whatever. And I remember hearing you sing, and I was like, man, who is that? And they're like, oh, it's Joel Gerber's daughter. And I was like, now you don't have to be Joel Gerber's daughter anymore.
Now I don't.
right.
To about half the community, I still am. I think.
Yeah, well,
depends on
you
the
that's
age,
going to die
the age
hard.
demographic. Yeah,
That's going to die hard.
I will always accept that tie to that
Yeah,
role.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't be
100%.
ashamed of that.
I would like to be Joel Gerber's son. That he
Yeah.
Me
doesn't
too.
have. So,
I was just telling you, I've had conversations where I thought maybe I was.
yeah.
I'm like, maybe he was missing not having sons, and
Yeah, like
I
you
kinda
could you could scooch right into
Yeah.
that role.
It is one of the great joys of my life that I was
Joel.
I sat at Joel's table a lot when I was in Rotary, and then we got to go to Toronto together.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
What a great
What
freaking,
an
oh my
incredible,
goodness.
yeah. There's
Like,
hardly words for.
And I remember Joel pulling me aside at the Toronto trip and saying to me, Mike, I love how much you're putting into this. And I was like, what's he talking about?
Yeah.
I really don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because I think I had to speak, and then you were on my team, and we went out,
That was so cool.
and it was such a bad experience that first night, and then it was such a great experience the
amazing.
second night. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
He is an encourager, though, isn't he? I mean,
He is.
He has the most incredible ability to see the to see things in people that most people won't
100%.
ever see,
Oh,
and
gosh.
really to call that out. So where a lot of people they'll think Mike Throne's really good at this or Marty Ford's really good at this. He actually will walk up to you and say, you are really good at this.
Yeah.
I believe that you can do this, this, and this. And he's not afraid to speak it. And you think back and you're like, why don't we all do that? Why don't we just speak life into each other and make us really believe that, oh, I really, and those are conversations that you remember.
Yeah.
Those are things that you remember that people speak, the text messages that friends will send me and say, I don't know why I'm thinking about you, but I just want to let you know I love you and I think you're great.
Are we recording yet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. God. Okay. Now I have to actually, So if this makes it great, he already knows this story, but so true story. We're in the same Rotary Club together, and my wife announces that she does not want to be married to me anymore. And I'm, if she's listening, I'm sorry, but this is such a great story. So whatever reason, we're at the same table together at Rotary, and we get done with the Rotary meeting, and he just turns and like he always does, shakes my hand. Good to see you. I said, hey, Joel, can you do me a favor? So there's some things going on at home, and I just want you to pray for me and my family. And I'll never forget this as long as I live, because to me, it meant so much to me. He said, Mike, I covenant with you to pray for you. And I was like, okay. But he said, when I covenant with you, it's not just between you and me, it's between me, you, and God. And man, what an impact that made on me at that moment. And it still does today. So it was like that when last year we give the Legacy Award and I break down, right? Like he's sitting right there.
Sure.
Like he's my guy, and I remember saying in that moment, if you guys only knew what Joel Gerber means to me personally, you would understand what an honor it is to give this award tonight. And it really does. It really is. It is such a lasting impact that goes beyond business. It goes beyond people. Yeah. It goes to the heart of your soul, man. Like so great.
When I first joined the agency as an associate agent with Dad, I actually had no idea.
I have that date down too, if you want to know
2006.
Yep, March 2006.
I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I go and I get a music degree, and I'm done with my degree, and I'm like, what did I do? I have no idea what I'm going to do.
Kind of like getting a journalism degree.
Yeah, like what do you do from here? No one tells you what to do after you work so hard in college. And so I remember we moved back to Ohio from Virginia, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess I can either get my master's degree or I can figure out what I want to do for the rest of my life. And, as a 20-year-old, 21-year-old, who in the world at that point even knows what you want to do for the rest of your life? I think half of us are still figuring it out. And I called Dad and I said, tell me about insurance. Tell me about what you do. And do you love it or do you not love it? And it's just a means to an end, or just share your heart with me. And I'll never forget, he said, there's never been a single day that I haven't loved walking through these doors and love the people that work for me and love the people that choose to do business with me, my clients. And I remember thinking, well, then what could even be bad? If by the time he retired, he had done it for over 40 years, same thing as Grandpa. And if you can do that for over 40 years and love every day, not that it's been easy, but still love what you do. And he told me the entire time that I worked for him before I bought his agency, he would tell me all the time, this is why I do what I do. I sell insurance to support my Jesus habit. He would tell me that all the time. And I didn't understand that in the very beginning until I'd walk in and see him just hugging somebody and say, you're going to be all right. Everything is going to be okay. Life is going to be hard, but you're going to be all right. Or he would, no one would know the thousands of dollars that he would just, buy groceries for people or fill up their gas tank or, do the things that he didn't want credit for. He didn't want people to see, but he was so grateful that God would give him an opportunity to just love on people, to just care about people. So,
he told me the same thing. He told me that his insurance agency enabled him to do ministry. Mm-hmm. And I never forgot that because I thought I wanted to do, I wanted to go into full-time ministry. Right. I thought that's what I was supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. And I had a conversation with him one day, and he's like, "Oh no, I think you're supposed to continue to work because it will enable you to do ministry."
And
he's right.
The cool thing, I really feel like I've learned a lot in the last few years. I bought the agency from Dad in 2000. I'm skipping around, but I bought the agency from him in 2013, and I learned a lot real quick. And I knew how to sell insurance, but to learn and fully understand how to run a business and to do it well, you make mistakes and you figure out real quick what you like and what you don't like and what you can do and what you can't. But really, at the end of the day, I decided I want my mission and my goal. And it took me a while to figure it out, but I want to leave people better than I found them. I don't want to meet Mike Throne and have a simple conversation with him and walk away and feel like, was that a waste of my time, or did I really impact that person? Now, that is not just in our home, that's, a marriage or children, or, that's easy to say clients. I want to leave my clients better than I found them, but that's my employees too. Yeah. I want them to know that I genuinely care about them. I can be a good leader and, have boundaries and lines and rules. But I also you can also love people well, you can. So anyways, that's one thing that I think he taught me without actually ever saying. It was very much his character that spoke to that I have never met a person that he hasn't left them better than he found them. And so that's kind of my mission in life and my goal to do the same thing.
So let me go back to the moment when you call him and you say, so this insurance thing, is it cool? Was there still a moment in there where you were like, can I kind of do what he did? Was there a point where you're like, he's way into it, but can I be that person?
So maybe it's my personality, Mike, but I never really thought that. I never compared or thought, can I be Dad? Because I don't think I ever wanted to be Dad. I wanted to love people the way that he does, but our personalities, I have a lot of my mom in me, but I also have a lot of my dad. A lot of my mom's Eva, personality. Eva,
who's amazing.
She is amazing. Yes. My firecracker mama. So I have a lot of her personality, but I also have a lot of Dad's too. And so in that mixture, I think my call to him was just, do you think I can do this, Dad? Do you think, he's known me since birth. So with my personality, do you think, I honestly, my thought of what insurance was when I was in college and high school, I would trim hedges and file papers and answer phones if he needed me to. I'm like, this is the worst thing ever. Who in the world would ever want to, I had no idea of the depths of the insurance industry, especially now. It's such a stark difference from even 10 years ago and 5 years ago. So, I think I just was looking for something, and maybe validation from him to say, yeah, I think you'd be good at this, because there are some personalities that wouldn't, you have to be a people person, you have to be driven. And so I think that was my main reason of just saying, do you think I could do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you graduated from Chillicothe High School. Let's go back for a second.
Let's do it. Make me feel old.
So
trust me, you're still the youngest by far in this room right now on this podcast.
It doesn't feel that way anymore, but still. So you're a graduate of Chillicothe High School. You go away to Liberty. When you went away to Liberty, did you think, oh, I'll be back in Chillicothe, it's no big deal?
Before I left, no, I'm like, there's no way. I'm not, every high school graduate's like, I'm never coming back to Chillicothe. I'm not doing it. I get there and I'm so homesick. I'm like, take me back, bring me back. I went not knowing a soul, truly. Yeah, right. I didn't know a single person.
Yeah.
And that you're 7 hours away, that's before cell phones. So yes, I am dating myself, but that I got my first cell phone my freshman year. So I don't think that I had any intention of coming back.
Yeah.
But, and even after I graduated and was married and working in Virginia, I loved Virginia. It was beautiful. It was I loved Lynchburg and Roanoke, but there is a pull. This town has a pull.
Yeah.
And it has the most, it's almost like a magnetic pull of, I miss it. I'm comfortable here. It's like coming home for Christmas in college, like almost like you can breathe. And so I think I felt that pull and ended up back here.
Having two daughters that decided to go far away for school, and hearing them say that same thing is I think one of the special things about Chillicothe.
I agree.
And probably why Mike and I are even doing this podcast.
Yeah.
Because we feel that same draw. And so it's exciting to hear you say that, because it would be real easy to go off to school and not come back home.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it does have a special place for sure.
And, especially having family here and connections here, and even moving back, having no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I just knew I was safe here. I knew the community was a good community. And I even looked back and thought, I mean, heck, it's raised me now 3 generations of our family here. So it surely can't be as bad as in high school that I thought it was going to be, that I had to move away. And I'm super grateful.
And now your kids are here, and, your husband is a product of here.
Yep.
I mean, that's the thing. So somebody asked me recently if like the intent of the podcast was to get people to think that it's just not that bad of a place.
No.
And I was like, honestly, it's not really at the forefront of what we're doing, but like it is a byproduct of what we're doing.
For sure.
Like literally the folks that we're talking to have found investment, right?
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, whether it's financial or literal or metaphysical, like whatever it is.
Right.
And that's my story. I mean, I came here 20 plus years ago and thought I'd be here for 5 years and then leave. So, and the next thing you know, like our kids are playing together. So like, I mean, I just feel like you're right. And I was told that when I came here, like people were like, oh, you'll love it there. You'll stay. Yeah, okay. But it's just a different place. And I think the draw of the place is rooted in the people.
Oh, for sure.
So
I agree.
And I mean, you're drawing from those people to work in your agency and in your business. And that's it. That just infiltrates everything you do.
And the cool thing about what I found is, as I've grown up and as I've become an adult and have my own family and my own children, and as they're growing, kind of finding myself and who am I and what do I want to be, and I love the legacy of my grandfather and my father. It is something that I will forever be grateful to have and to be attached to. And I think about that it doesn't necessarily, just because I'm in small town, rural Ohio, doesn't mean that I can't have big dreams and big visions and move beyond that, which I have. And I'm so grateful for that opportunity, but I wouldn't have that opportunity had I not had this town. And so I think that's another reason that I'm so grateful for that. Because where I've come and where I'm going, I wouldn't have had that opportunity without Chillicothe, without this town. And, it's been really cool to see, now 4 generations say this is our hometown, but really, and also my little girls to say, I can be anything I want to be. I can grow up in Chillicothe, Ohio. I can stay here and go to school. I can go away and go to school, but I can be anything and do anything I want to do, be anything I want to be. And that's what, that really makes me proud and happy.
So Ed and Joel gave you a thing, but I don't want to sell you short. You took a thing and made it a bigger thing. And we're going to get to medical claims helper and things like that, because I think it's such a really compelling look at how you've become a visionary about the business and about, look, the fact of the matter is insurance can be a very comfortable business, right?
Yeah.
We're always going to need insurance, right? So it'd be easy to stay right in that little nook and not worry about it.
Yep.
But I feel like what you've done with it is you've decided to say, what else?
Yeah.
And that's such a, for some reason, to me, it feels like such a freeing thing to be like, could I do more than just insurance? I know you've done financial services, but now you've started another thing. I mean, take me through your process a little bit on how you come up with that thing. Like how does medical claims helper start?
Sure.
As a nugget and then become a thing?
Sure. So It was certainly never intended. My heartbeat, I've always been a visionary, even as a little girl. I see something and I think that can be better. I'm not necessarily the detailed analytical person that can always get me there, but I can vision it and I can help see the process through. And so looking back, even as a little girl, whether it's building a tree house and saying, I don't want that to be status quo, I see that in my heartbeat now too. I can see something, and yes, it can be comfortable, and yes, it can be here's what I've always known, so I'm always going to do what I've always done, so I'm always going to get what I always got, the old saying. It's like, why would you, my brain, and I know it's my personality, why would I want to do that? I know if I can, I want to challenge myself more. I don't want to be status quo. And in the insurance world, I'm already a little bit of a unicorn in that I'm a younger female in an older male dominated industry. So I never cared about that, but it was very prevalent, especially when I bought Dad's agency from him. A lot of the agency force was basically aging into retirement around the same time, and still kind of is. And so it's not as much of a thing. There's a lot more women in the industry, but I just view business differently. And I just view what my kind of future goals and what I wanted to do. So insurance and financial services. And I always wanted to grow and be bigger and invest. I'm very big into investing back into my company, whether it's technology or marketing, things like that, just doing things different, not being status quo. So part of what I did is I started acquiring agencies. That was one of my big visions. I have really fantastic staff, people who are running the agency and taking care of our clients. I'm out looking for and buying agencies and agents who are ready to retire. So making a perpetuation plan or succession plan for them. So I purchased an agency in Lima, Ohio. Why Lima? It's a very long story. And I don't think we have a long enough podcast for that. But basically, I tapped into my roots of cold calling because I knew it's what I wanted to do. I want to grow and expand, and I can't do that unless I'm the one calling, talking to people. So I bought an agency in Lima, and he had someone on staff that was selling Medicare supplement plans. Well, as a byproduct of that, she was helping people understand and spending hours and hours and hours helping people through that process. So they had like a mini thing of that going on, but it wasn't an actual business. It was kind of a byproduct of them selling the supplements. So I buy this agency. This kind of comes along with it. I got to figure out what I want to do with it. So I start researching what's the professional liability going to cost for this thing? How much of a need is it? Do I want to keep it or do we just want to let it go? And so I start researching, and people are like, yeah, I have no idea what my medical bills are like. I don't know what they mean. Yeah, I have no. So I start asking people, and I start thinking and start finding this is a really big need. People have no idea the medical bills that come into their house, they just pay them. And whether there's an actual error in it or they don't actually understand, or there's a coding error, or they didn't know. So I researched it. Long story short, I researched it. I built a business plan. I hired someone to help me build the entire business, who now actually works for my Gerber side, the insurance side. But and it's great. So that's basically what people do. They can drop off all of their medical bills to us, and we have someone who comes through and understands the whole process and can say either, yep, everything's right, or no, this specific thing was coded improperly and it should have been a preventative care and is covered 100%. Or so it's definitely a process, and it's something that's needed, and there's not very many people at all.
So what percentage are you seeing of of bills that you're like are coded improperly, or
so
shouldn't be paid?
Statistically 70% of medical bills have some sort of error. Now, is that a $20,000 error? Is that a 3-cent error?
Right.
I don't know what that looks like, but there is a statistic that 70% have some form of error, whether it's billed triple or it's not billed at all. So it's definitely a need. It's definitely a need for someone to take a look at that. So it's been
you've
interesting.
built, you've got a staff or person that is looking at these things. give them a shout out because I
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
so you can look us up even on our website, medicalclaimshelper.com, and basically look at a video and look at things and what we provide and what we have to offer. And yeah, just get a hold of us. You can contact us right there on the website, and we can help look through whatever.
Generally,
you need.
we don't do plugs, but I'm going to do a plug here, and Marty may give me a look. But I will say this: like, literally, you helped my wife and I through some bills that like we could not navigate. And I mean, it was part of helping you figure out this process. But at the same time, like, I'm a guy that would just write a check because it's just like, okay, I have the money. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not bragging about that. It's just like, it's more hassle for me to do the work than it is for me to write the check. So 0-sum game. I'm like, okay. All
Which
right,
is most people.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm the same. I'm that person too.
Right.
I don't have time to understand something that I don't understand, and I don't want to understand.
Right.
People don't get medical bills and say, "Oh, let me research this and look through and spend hours and hours and hours that I don't have."
Yeah.
People don't want to do that. Right. Most people are that way.
I mean, what it comes down to eventually is that you have people who are becoming experts at knowing the coding, knowing the system, and saying, no, this does not quite work. Yep. And that ultimately is a huge, massive service for the general public because I don't even really fault the hospitals or the doctors. Like, it's a complicated system.
It is. And not
so
all
somebody
the systems
that knows
speak
it
to each other.
Yeah. And so somebody that knows it and can work inside it is invaluable,
I could see where you're starting to build a database too, in that of here's kind of what things, here's this medical procedure.
Yeah.
And this is kind of about what it costs. And then you see a range of what it's getting charged.
Absolutely.
I think that's as much as, helping people out is super important, but creating that data, having that data to be able to process and understand
Absolutely.
all this hospital billing is crazy.
Absolutely.
Like, we even know and understand, like, we don't even know that hospitals understand their billing.
No.
We see so many
Well,
mistakes.
and that's why you see so many third-party billing companies, because hospitals are good at what hospitals do. Right. Hospitals are not, in my opinion, they don't want their expertise to be that they're a billing company, and so that's where I think there's a lot of breakdown. Not that hospital billing departments are bad. It's that did whoever was coding from the doctor's office do it properly to send it to the billing company, and did they even submit it properly to the insurance company, and did the insurance company process it properly the breakdown could be anywhere. It could be anywhere in that process.
So many hands in that process.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
So how many different locations do you have now? How many total employees do you have? I'm curious about this because I know what you were at when you took it over.
Right. So I have 15 employees and I have 4 locations. One of them I don't advertise. I do have a full-time staff person in the Marion area. He's my ag and farm specialist, ag and commercial specialist, and he travels to all of our locations, but also has a presence in Marion. But physical locations that I advertise are Chillicothe, Waverly, and Lima. So, and I've done quite a few acquisitions to kind of merge some of those offices together, and we're all kind of spread out.
So I'm a guy that comes from a background of having a bunch of different locations, and even for a certain amount of time being over multiple locations in far-flung regions. And so I speak from a position of knowing how difficult that is to manage people across that.
Sure.
How do you do it successfully? Because I'd love to know, because I always felt like I was flying blind.
It's really hard. Yeah. So my Lima office being the furthest away has definitely been my most challenging for that reason. It's 2.5 hour drive from Chillicothe, which is rough to go in one day. Yeah. And very rarely when I go is it one day, because I have way too much to do when I'm there. So the key to that was finding the right person. And, funny talking about small town Ohio, I only hire on personality now. I don't I don't care what your degree is. I don't care how much experience you have. I can teach you anything you need to know about sales or insurance or systems or processes, not just necessarily me, but any of my staff. We can teach you whatever you need. You have to be the right person for the job. Your personality, you have to flow with the environment. You have to flow with my culture. You have to flow with all of these things. And so when I was looking for a manager, I honestly didn't care if they had an insurance experience. Some of my best hires have never been in the insurance world. And because, like, let's admit, who grows up and says, I want to be an insurance agent. So my goal with Lima was I had to find somebody who was hopeful. I had to find somebody, because it's a different community than what Chillicothe is. I also had to learn the community as well. But I had to find somebody integrated that was willing to be all hands on deck, a part of the chamber, the businesses, the, showing up to all of the community events, and loved the city and was ready to really be a part of it. Because people from Lima, Ohio don't care who Emily Gerber-Poe is. They want to know that whomever is taking care of their insurance is going to take care of them the way that I expect all of our staff to do. But they don't necessarily care about my name, and the Gerber name reputation doesn't mean anything up there. We have to build that brand. We have to build that brand up there. So it was finding the right person, and we did. And he's incredible. He's amazing. He is hardworking. He is incredible at managing the people. There's a lot of the front end of making sure that the culture is what we want it to be, that the how we treat people is the way that we want them to, that our systems and processes, because to manage this many people and the size of agency that I have, we have to have really good systems and processes in place. And so that's been the key with Lima. And also, making some hard decisions and a lot of business changes that aren't always easy for everybody, especially those that are working there. But it's been good. It's the people. It's all about the people. And someone that loves the Lima community the way that I love this community too. And so we finally found that person.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately it comes down to you have to love your place as much as I love my place, or the person in Waverly loves their place. Like, I mean, and Marty knows this too, because they have, where he works has multiple locations across multiple places. Now, many of them are in the same geographic area, but at the same time, it comes down to, you better really love this spot on the map.
For sure.
Right? Because if you don't, it ain't going to work.
It's not going to matter, and it's not going to work.
That was my struggle when I was in Lancaster. I was never going to be over in Lancaster because I was not at the football game. I was not at the grocery store. I was not at church. You didn't see me every day. You saw me twice a week, if you were lucky.
Yep.
And so that's your struggle to a certain point. But you're lucky that you have those people in place.
I'm so lucky and blessed, and really the management team that I have, here at we call it the mothership here at Chillicothe. The management team that I have is so incredible at also making sure that they're doing their jobs well enough that it's impacting those locations the way that it needs to be as well. Yeah. It's all about the people.
Yeah. You run into that everywhere. Like Mike was saying, we're in 6 locations, and every location, even though they're not that far, I mean, the furthest is 17 miles away, but they each have their own personality.
Absolutely.
And it's important that your people there understand their culture, understand the town, the community, are a part of that community, because it reflects you, and in your business, and when you are a community-based business, the community is what's most important. How you treat the community, and that you're involved in the community.
Absolutely.
And if you're not, that you don't have a chance.
Well, and the insurance world has changed so significantly that, I don't just compete with the guy down the street. I don't just compete with those here. I'm competing with Direct. I'm competing with the Geicos and the, Progressive is a large carrier of mine that I write. I also compete with their online company. Yeah. So, and their 1-800 number. So,
and they're an Ohio company.
And And so it's changed so significantly that the one thing that I have that Direct doesn't have is my love for the community and pouring back into that. And, I've had other people say, I know you're big into your community, and, tell me how the ROI and all that. And I'm like, there is no ROI on me giving scholarships to Keys to Success. I have no idea what that brings back. But what I will tell
Not
you
a
is
single person has come back and worked for me.
No, right?
Yeah.
Not a single one of those scholarship winners has come back and said, "Hey, will you write my auto insurance?" But I will tell you that that I know I did the right thing, and I'm investing into the community. And I always say, when you choose to do business with us, it allows me to pour back into the community. And it really is a beautiful cycle. It really is whether it's you're buying a car from a local company, or you're going to a local coffee shop, or you're going to a local boutique, and they choose to do business with me. So I'm able to spend money with them. And it really is this beautiful cycle of, but it's all the communities that we live in. Yeah.
Well, I always tell people that ROI means nothing to the person on Douglas Avenue. Like, I mean, they don't care.
That's right.
Even if they worked at the mill and they had to live by ROI at some point in time, they didn't care. They were just showing up to punch the clock at 7 a.m. and check it out at 3:30 or whatever, because that's what they did. That was their livelihood, and they took pride in it.
Right.
And I think it's the same way. Like, when you take pride in a community, it really has nothing to do with 0.1% or 1.1 cent of actual extra money.
Right.
You know.
But also, you know, when people look at, my tagline's here for good for the insurance agency. And when we rebranded and chose that tag, I loved it so much. And we spent so many hours with the branding company trying to figure out, you know, they spent so much time, but the intention is, we're not just here for good because we've been an agency since 1943. You know, my grandfather started it in 1943. We're not just here for good, even though we are, and we're 3 generations in, but we're here for the good. We're here for the good things. We're here for the good in the community. We're here to do the right things for the right reasons too. And I think that's why, you know, it's a lot of good pressure to have my grandfather and my father and to have to follow in their steps, because my grandpa, he truly was the ultimate community man. And then my dad comes along and he's like, steps it up 20 notches. And then I'm like, well, where do I go from here? Because how do I compete with, you know, and I'm a mom with two kids, and that makes a difference too. Yep. And how do I do that? But then it's like, I don't have to outdo. I can love this community as much and just be proud of the name, because people will trust it. You know, people will trust the name in the community, because we've just been able to prove that we just love being here. We love the people, we love the businesses, and it's a great place to be. And like you said, I can't be this in Lima. I can't be this in Waverly, but there are people who love their cities and their communities just as much as we do here too. Yeah.
So one of the decisions that you had to make, and I know was a bit of a difficult decision, was to move out of the place that was the place for Gerber Insurance.
Yeah.
And you moved out on Western Avenue, which I know was a difficult decision, but it was ultimately the best decision. Take us through that process a little bit, and the agonizing thought process of leaving home.
Yeah.
You know. So
it was such a cool place on the corner of Arch and Cherry, and that's how Dad used to advertise it. Like in the phone book, it wasn't even the address.
Oh, I saw a million ads. Arch and
Cherry. Yeah. So people knew that's where we were for years and years and years. And again, this comes back to my personality and my brain. If I don't have space to put someone, I can't hire anyone else. I cannot grow my business if I have nowhere to put people. And you know, now we're in a different world where I can hire people to work virtually from home, and people have no idea that they're talking to somebody at a desk at home rather than walking into a Chillicothe office and talking to somebody. So, but that wasn't a thing. And I just had to make the decision. If I'm going to grow this business the way that I want to, and I know I'm going to be able to, I have to have space for people. I have to have a place. So I started looking. Actually, for 2 years, I looked.
So was there a conversation with your dad before you?
I think we had kind of sidebar conversations. I didn't want to have the full conversation with him until I knew I had found a place that I really was landing on. And I just said, Dad, I've grown out of this place. And, you know, as hard as it was for him, I think, to know that it's not going to be here anymore or forever. He was really proud of me. You know, I think he was really proud, and he really was glad that I was, you know, and I'm sure as a dad, it's like, is she doing the right thing? Is she making the right decisions? Is she going to regret this? And I'm sure he had those thoughts. He never vocalized them to me, but it was a hard conversation when I did finally find the right one. And I had to come to him to say, this is what I'm doing. And he was very gracious. And, you know, he said, it's going to be hard and I'm going to miss this place, but it was the right thing and it was the right move.
Was there some comfort in giving it to another business that ended up expanding as
For
well?
sure.
Like, I mean, Mayor's Cares has done
for sure.
great
and especially
things with
what
that
they're
spot.
doing. They're doing so much good for this community too. And people need their services, their counseling services. And so
and they're growing and expanding too, which
they're
is
growing
amazing,
like crazy. And so I think that was heartwarming for Dad too, to know that something really good was still occupying that building. It was really
that
good.
had a similar goal. To really
just
be
helping
helpful.
people,
serving people and helping people.
Yeah, that would make it easier.
So as hard as that conversation was, it wasn't agonizing. It wasn't a horrible conversation. And so we were really able to celebrate him in that building. And as we walked away from it.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So obviously being a leader of people, one of the things I like to talk about with people that have to lead people is that, you know, what is one or two things that you kind of take as your guiding principle? I mean, obviously there are the things like do the right thing for people, things like that. But, you know, it can be really difficult to manage people sometimes. You know, I think the last year has really taught us, like, it's really hard to ask people to work from home and balance all the things that they've had to balance. You know it, I know it. But what are the sort of guiding principles that you take into leading your people and leading the folks that work with you, other than the ephemeral things of like just doing the right thing?
Yeah.
You know, like,
so, you know, the number one thing that I had to learn really quick, and I'm grateful that I learned, and I hold very close, is that I need to hire people to my weaknesses. And I've been able to do that. And, you know, I spoke about my leadership team, and I have really great people alongside of me that are really good at things that I really kind of suck at. And I'm, you know, the detail, the analyzation, I don't want to have all of the hard conversations by myself. I don't want to, you know, for a long time I made really hard decisions kind of alone. And now it's good to be able to bounce it off of people, you know, bounce ideas off of people who have, you know, a good business brain and I trust their opinion. So, and I say all that to say, when I hire people on to my weaknesses as a leader, number one, continuing to learn, never feeling like I've arrived. And yeah, technically I can't be replaced. I'm not going to fire myself, but I can. If I suck really bad and I run this thing into the ground, I'm going to be replaced by somebody at some point. And so I always want to learn. So that's, you know, that's the number one thing. And part of that learning is learning personalities, is learning how do my people want to be, how do they want me to communicate with them? Because my communication style is, be kind and be quick. Don't drag out the details. I've got a lot to do. But for someone else, it's someone else's personality. It's like, okay, let's talk through the details. Let me hear. And so instead of me getting annoyed or getting frustrated, it's, okay, who am I sitting down and talking to right now? They need my full attention, and my ADD can't be flying off into crazy space. I've got to actually give them my full attention, even though their details might drive me crazy.
yeah.
I have them in this role for that very reason. And so I think as a leader, it's making myself better, Mike. You know, it's instead of me expecting so much more out of all of these other people, which I do. But I think when they know that I love and care for them so much, and I really do value, and they're in their positions for a very specific reason, then they want to work harder for me. Yeah. You know, they don't want to disappoint me. And so it's more of this collaboration team mentality than it is, here's Emily, the dictator who makes all the rules and says all the things, and I'm miserable in my job. And like, who wants to work under that?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to work under that. And so I think as a leader, it's just, am I doing all the right things? Am I leaving people better than I found them? I will say, though, the last few years have been hard. They've been hard for a lot of different reasons, and for everybody in their own respect. With COVID, things have just changed. But I've gone through a lot of transition in the last year. Yeah. So for me, it's been really critical. I love people so much, sometimes to a fault, that I will allow people to walk over me, or I don't want to upset them. So that's really not that big of a deal. It's no big deal. But now I've hired people that are like, yeah, no, that is a big deal. You can't. And so I think this learning over the last couple of years of recognizing that you can still be kind and you can still be a good leader, but you can still have really good parameters, and you can still have hard conversations, and you can still be direct. And so again, I don't know. I guess I would just go back to, I don't ever want to feel like I've arrived, because I feel like if you get to that point, you're just kind of throwing your hands up and saying either I think I know it all, which I'll never know it all, or I'm just better than those that are around me. And I also don't want to be at that point either.
Well, and the cool thing too is when you get people that look up to you as a leader, but understand that you're still growing. Because I mean, let's just be honest. Nobody's got it all figured out.
No,
we can just stop tomorrow and
right.
be good, right? Like,
yeah, no.
We're all still learning and growing as leaders, as employees, as people. So when you find that sweet spot of the people that know that, yeah, I'm in her sweet spot because she's not strong in this area, or his, or whatever, but they're willing to like help you learn and grow. And then when the time comes for you to be like, you know what, I'm not going to let you walk over me anymore.
Right.
Like, that's a cool place to be in.
Right.
Because I'm a lot like you. I'll do the same thing. It's probably the hallmark of when I was at the Gazette, but like, bottom line, it comes down to we're all still figuring it all out, right? So that's a good thing, I think, for the most part.
Yeah, you never want to stop learning.
Right.
No.
Right. As soon as you stop learning, then I feel like everything's over.
Sure.
It's such an important part of true leadership. And when your employees see that, there's respect that comes with that. And when you treat them with respect and you give them a voice, it changes everything. Yeah. I mean, I see it all around me where I work. In my situation, that's what happens. Yeah. You have a voice and you're allowed to use it, and then you look to the people who are leading you, and they look back and say, how can you help? And that's a game changer.
Well, I mean, I had a boss one time who told me, he's like, the guy who thinks he has it all figured out still has one more thing to learn.
Yeah. Right. For sure.
Yeah. It's true.
Well, and when you think about the culture, that's another thing I think about. And it's so easy for people to get frustrated, and people as in, I'm thinking specifically employees, to get frustrated or to feel like something isn't fair, or to feel like, and it happens in every work environment. Yeah. But it's also easy for that to be super bottled up. But if you're really consistently focused on culture, and you're focused on what's happening, and I tell my people all the time, my door is always open. Yeah. You come and you talk to me. I can't guarantee that I can fix what you're wanting, but I can guarantee to listen to you. Yeah. And I can guarantee that you have a voice. And if you don't understand, I will always have a why. I will always have a why behind my what. And so I think also over communicating my whys of, this is a really big change for the agency. Why are we making this change? And just being transparent. It's not this big secret, man behind the curtain decision that I'm making. It's I have no plan B. This is my A through Z. I promise I'm not going to sink my own ship. So any decision that I make is for the best of the company. And
there's no corporate ownership pulling the strings.
No, there's not. No, it's for the betterment of the company. And, it's been one of the hard transitions over the last 2 years, is moving from really a very small business of, when I joined Dad, I think there were 4 others. Now I have 15 people on my staff. And I'm running 2 companies, and and I'm in 4 counties. So, the travel with that too. So the culture piece has been really important. Yeah.
I'm interested, obviously your sister runs a very successful business as well at Paper City, and a mentoring project with that. Your other sister is a realtor and does very well on herself. how much do you guys talk about the different things that you do? Because I mean, it's a really disparate. I mean, obviously, in all three areas, you're running your own business.
Yep.
When you're a realtor, you're running your own business. But how much do you guys talk about what you're doing and what lines intersect and how those things pull together?
I know this sounds really crazy, but not a lot.
Yeah.
We often talk about the wins. I feel like the wins in our areas and the successes that we all see, but not often do we talk about, so and so we had to let so and so go, or we don't. Those aren't really. We don't get into those nitty gritties, and I don't know if it's just because we never have, but I think maybe it's kind of a mutual understanding that it is not easy. It is not easy to run a business, and
when you're talking about it every day amongst your people,
exactly,
you don't want to talk about it when you're hanging out as a family.
I think it may be just this mutual understanding of we understand how hard it is, and so let's do the best we can to talk about the great parts of what we're doing and celebrate each other, because life is hard. And really when we're together, my older sister and I are like, let's do a yard sale and let's have a cookout and let's drink a glass of wine and let's not talk about business. It's kind of this mutual understanding that we respect each other because I know how hard it was for my younger sister to start a brand new business when, the revitalization of Chillicothe was just starting to spur and, plus run the mentorship program. I know how hard that was for her because I watched her walk through that. I also know I watched my older sister completely switch careers. But also we don't know the ins and outs of all of what we're doing because it's so different. So it's kind of like this mutual understanding of like, let's just celebrate the wins with each other. And
well, I think like from the outside looking in, and maybe you've created a safe space for all of you to have conversations that are not about the business.
For sure, because it's all consuming Monday through Friday, and owning a business, that's not Monday through Friday is not our job. I work all the time. I've worked very hard on work-life balance, but I work a lot when my girls go to bed after I get them to bed, and I have to get on and I have to go through spreadsheets or I have to do something that I know needs to be done by 8:00 tomorrow morning. You're right. So when I have a cookout with my family or Christmas or Thanksgiving, the last thing we want to do is talk about that stuff, I think.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about like all the great things that are happening in your family and and the kids and how they're doing?
Or be present, right?
Yeah,
like just be present.
Yes. Yeah.
That's important. It's important to your mental health. It's important to family health.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My dad and I didn't do a great job of that though. He and I, when we were in work, the same job together, we had to be very careful. My mom would just straight up call us out on it. Like, really, guys, we're going to talk about this at the dinner table. Great. When do I get my billboard up? She'd just joke and laugh. I mean, she wasn't being serious, but it was her call out to like, oh yeah, okay, we'll stop.
But she knew how to push the right button.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, she sure did.
And everybody needs that person in their life.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I can't tell you how proud I am to have you with us tonight.
Thank you, Mike.
Definitely.
Thank you, guys.
Are we allowed to say tonight when it's like a podcast and people could be listening anytime? I don't know. Who cares? We don't even care about the rules anymore. Man, you've just done such great things, and it's just been such a blessing to watch you. I joke. I wrote down the 2001 thing about
That's so crazy.
About the FCA deal and then graduating and everything, because I just felt like that's what I remember knowing you. And here we are 20 years later and you're running your own business and doing your own thing. And it's such a great thing. I think it's really emblematic of the way that we've approached things in Chillicothe and the way that we've tried to encourage people to just take some risks and do some things. And you've been a great friend to me and my family, and I think a great friend to our community. So I just want to thank you. And don't stop now, okay? Because we can't afford that.
Yeah.
So,
but early in the conversation, you mentioned about your grandfather and your dad's legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Their legacy is in great hands.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you, Marty.
And it really It really is. It's impressive. I've just enjoyed listening to you talk about your business and watching that grow.
Sure.
It's just been a beautiful thing. And I don't know you like Mike knows you, but there's a sense of pride for me as well.
Thank you.
You want to see local people have success and become great leaders in the community, because that's that draw that you mentioned, like coming back home. It's important. We lose so many great people sometimes from our communities.
Yep.
And you're like, gosh,
and move
man,
on.
what a hole that they could have filled when you think about it. And the fact that we have the opportunity. You said my kids can do anything.
Yeah.
My girls are the same way. Like, they went away to school, but they know they can always come back home.
I love that.
And there's something beautiful about that.
And I don't know if that really existed 15, 20 years ago. Like, when we were in the depths of depression about where we were and who we are.
Well, and also I even think about coming back. I'm like, I felt so in a rut of, you graduate high school, you go to college, you get your degree, and that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
And again, I'm looking back, who in the world knows what you want to do for your entire life by the time you're 20? Like, I was still, I would not have trusted my 20-year-old self to do what I'm doing right now.
No.
So I was not prepared. I was not prepared for life. And, one of the great things that I think I've just been able to recognize in the last several years is people just want seen.
Yeah.
People just, they want to be seen. They want to be heard. They want to be valued. And isn't that really the common denominator of all of us, whether we're rooted in this community or another community, whether we're running a business in multiple counties, or we're rooted in one space, whether we're working for a corporation or whether we're working for ourselves, it truly doesn't matter. And what I'm grateful for that legacy. And thank you for saying those kind words. At the end of the day, I don't ever want to get too big for my britches. I want to be a small town girl forever. I really do truly want to live the life that says, I cared about people. I left them better than I found them. And I want people I just want people to be seen and to be valued, because we've lived through the past year and a half of the COVID land that we lived in. And it has, I have had conversations with people that I didn't even know what to say at the end other than just hug them.
Yeah.
They're so depressed, or I've lost so-and-so, or am I ever going to, like, the anxiety of, are we ever going to get out of this? Are we ever going to, and it's like, I'm going to hug you because
you need it. And
you just need seen and heard. And, I, again, never want to get too big for my britches, because that's not what it's about. It really is about people. And I say all that to say, I'm super excited that you guys are doing this. And I'm so glad that you care enough. Again, not necessarily it's just about the community that you're doing it, but it's just people who care about others who are doing great things that you may not, Wes, you guys interviewed him and talking about the cool things that he's doing, and he's such a cool guy. And, just thank you for caring enough about people, for really just loving people and wanting to leave people better than you found them, because you both do that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
And let me tell you, this has been, every week is an hour that goes by like a minute.
I can't even believe
so, again, thank you for being a part of it. And
it's my pleasure.
We're looking forward to the next time we come back and you got 100 employees and
gosh.
7. No, I'm just kidding.
Will I be retired then? Please tell me it's close. No, I'm kidding.
Just more great stories.
Yeah, I mean, we just want to share great stories. And so the more great stories you create, the more times we'll visit together. So thanks
Perfect.
again.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me.
You've been listening to the Feels Like Home podcast with Mike Throne and Marty Ford.
A little strange, but I don't feel alone. We just settled in and it already feels like home. Feels like home. Feels like home.